This is a 1956 Triumph Terrier, 2 years older than the one that Dad had in the early 50s. The photo that you'll see here, the old blurry photo, that was Dad's Triumph Terrier. He took the photo of that probably 55, 56 when he owned this. And it looks like he'd bought it brand new in 1954. My sister and I acquired this 56 model one about 2 or 3 weeks after Dad passed 5 years ago this month. And my sister's passed it on to me, and I'm going to get it up and running. My sister did ask me to promise that I wouldn't do my crazy, wacky modifications to it, and that's exactly what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to get the engine running, get it up and get the engine running and ride it around, get it on some historic plates, and maybe ride it in some charity events. So you'll see in this video what I'm starting to find in the way of problems with the engine. As I like to call it, 1,000 sins are starting to be discovered. So sit back and watch as I put this thing together and get it running. Triumph Terrier head. I took it off because the inlet valve was hardly opening, and maybe I should have just checked the adjustment on the valves. There's absolutely none. The exhaust is the same. But I thought I'd still go in and have a look. There's a myriad of problems. That's a valve guide. And I just pulled that out with my fingers. My understanding is from valve guides should be nice and tight and not come out of your hand. So we'll need to investigate that. What else? Yes, 1,000 sins have been discovered. JB weld used around the exhaust outlet. And look, it's going to peel off. Look at that. Maybe it's supposed to be a gasket around there. Who knows? I'll have a look at the manual and have a look. And the exhaust has got exactly the same, no clearance at all for the valve to open with. Yep. There's a bit of a decoke. But that exhaust valve guide, it's a worry. Anyway, it's all part of owning an old motorcycle. So I've taken the exhaust valve out and a bit of carbon on it, not to be unexpected. And guess what? The valve guide doesn't want to come out. It's in there nice and snug. Bit of carbon in there. Anyway, it should clean up all right, but I'll have to do some research onto why and what the tolerances are for the inlet exhaust valve guide and see about getting a new one for there. Anyway, so far so good. Nothing out that I can't handle at the moment. I wish I had a dishwasher. I'd put the head in the dishwasher and clean it. But anyway, thank you. You know, I know this is not a powerhouse of a machine. It's only 150 cc's, but someone has gone and made paper gaskets for the carburetor manifold. And they haven't even cut them to the right size. They've cut them smaller. I love it. Oh well, I might buy some proper gaskets instead of making them out of cardboard and have them bigger than, smaller than the inlet. You gotta love backyard butchers. Oh wait, that's what I am. So these are the paper gaskets that were made for the carburetor inlet. You can see what I was saying, how they were just cut out, not even cut to size. Maybe they were trying to restrict the 150cc awesome power that comes from this machine. Anyway, good on them for having a go. Back in the day, who knows, they may not have had the money for gaskets, so they've used gasket paper, but good on them for it. 63-year-old motorcycle, you know, you're going to expect there to be problems at times. Don't know the history of it, don't know who's owned it, don't know who's worked on it, who's done what on it. I've just found something else now. The drain screw on the amyl carburetor, it's been araldite in place. Okay, what, couldn't tighten it? Maybe it's stripped in there, who knows? Let's peel the araldite off and see what we find inside. I love it. It's just the more I go deeper, the more I find. Well, that's the fun of owning a 63-year-old motorcycle. So no hidden surprises in the float bowl at all. It's dry, probably a little bit of oxidization powder that'll clean out. But yeah, dry, and maybe even a decent gasket this time that someone's made. Yep. And yeah, that drain screw, Yep, that's pretty rough. So I'll probably get a new one of those as well. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad for a 63-year-old motorcycle.